Tonight, honoring heroes and recovering as a family.
We're okay, but we're still healing.
Deputy US Marshals reflect on the day that changed Charlotte forever. 4 brothers in law enforcement killed 1 year ago.
A devotion to honor the ones who made the ultimate sacrifice since they were laid to rest.
Seeing the flags draped on 77 on the bridges, it literally felt like a 4th of July parade.
Their memories and the endless support. Channel 9's Hannah Getz joined them around the fire pit, a place that was dear to their fallen friend Tommy Weeks.
Yeah, we'll get this going.
A lakeside fire in April. It's not a bad way to spend a spring evening. And it's not the typical setting for an interview with law enforcement officers. But this isn't typical. It's an interview every man and woman behind the badge hopes they never have to do.
Who was woke up and kind of dreaded this today? Anybody?
Yeah.
Who woke up today and thought about Tommy?
I did.
Yeah.
When I asked the deputy U.S. Marshals you see around this fire if there was a place that made them feel closest to their friend, colleague, and brother, Tommy Weeks, they picked here, in Tommy's backyard. It's where they made some of their best memories. So it only makes sense it's the place where they share them.
I'd actually known Tommy since the academy, and then once I got here to Charlotte, met Sam through the task force and Alden shortly thereafter.
We did a lot together.
Mm-hmm.
I had the fortunate experience of working with Tommy, I think the longest.
We did a lot of things together, crashed a lot of cars together, and a lot of good stories.
Mm-hmm. Any good stories you want to share?
I don't think right now is a good time to do it.
Each of these deputy U.S. Marshals lost a friend on April 29th. Some lost more. All 5 worked alongside Tommy Weeks, and most of them worked with task force officers Sam Peloche and Alden Elliott, who were also killed that day along with CMPD officer Joshua Iyer. But this conversation is about much more than just that tragic day. It's about legacy, resiliency, and honor.
Do you guys do this when there's not cameras around and someone asking you questions? Do you guys talk about what happened?
Yeah, I think so, in some form or fashion. We still, I mean, we're still a family at the end of the day. I mean, we, on the weekends or whenever we get a chance and just sit down and just talk about life and talk about things and, make sure everybody's doing okay.
Yeah. And how is everybody doing?
I think that's a loaded question.
Yeah.
I think that's the question you get asked most. And I'll be honest, we ask each other that, especially in the office. And I would answer it as, we're okay, but we're still healing.
It's like good days and bad days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel at all happy to tell people about who they were?
I think so. Like, because each one of those guys, you're not going to find, like, better people.
That's right.
So it's, I don't know, makes you, like, proud to tell people about them, So.
It's like I've never gotten sad about telling people who they were. I'm kind of honored to, get to share part of my life with them and
That's right.
be able to speak about who they were and what they stood for.
What are you most proud to tell them?
Sounds cliche, but every single one of them would do anything for you. At the drop of the hat, doesn't matter if it's 2 in the afternoon or 2 in the morning.
How do you go and, go back and grab your badge after something like this and go to work?
We have a job to do, and if anything, we do it to honor them now. You have to. I mean, that's what we all agreed to do. That's the oath that we all took.
The community needs us. Our other teammates need us.
I honestly think if we got a text message today from those 4 officers, they would all be in agreement. They would tell us, get back to work, finish the job.
That's right.
All returned without hesitation, but not without struggle.
Psychologically, me personally, I battled the denial for many of months. Even today, sitting where, Tommy and I, we used to sit here and we talk about what football games we're going to go to this year, Panthers, or we'd sit here, have some beers and talk about doing polar plunges here, Lake Norman. But just the denial for me, and still to this day, seems unreal.
Is that how you got through? Was a lot of it was denial and just pushing it back?
Yeah, and just kind of leaning on each other. Law enforcement officers, they struggle every single day, and it just doesn't happen when a tragic event happens. They still show up, and I wish they could see the struggles outside of tragedy that law enforcement officers deal with on a regular.
We, we're not just coworkers, but we're also teammates. We have to have each other's backs and have that communication.
What has changed for you personally, whether it's how you do your job or how you go home to family?
I know myself, I feel like I'm a lot more hypervigilant. Even just like when I'm off duty, I tell my buddies, if we go out to eat for lunch, I ask them, say, hey, I got your 6, you got mine. And sometimes I have to remind myself it's okay to be human. You don't always have to be like this robot cop. But I also know what I signed up for as well.
Does it change how you go home?
Going home, you'd have a different appreciation for pretty much everything. I get to go home. I get to go see my kids. I get to mow the grass.
Drive them around
you get to. And something that used to be, I guess, considered an inconvenience or, something that just kind of said, we got to do this again, now became that I get to.
The outreach and the support that you saw in those days and weeks after, did it have an impact on you?
I definitely noticed it a lot. I mean, riding home, you saw blue porch lights everywhere.
That's right.
And, when we were in the processions and stuff, that was just wow, you see, man, people in the community appreciate this, because sometimes it's hard to, there's been times as law enforcement where you're like, whew, they like us,
It's not often that you see that, and it's unfortunate that the only time you really see that is when an event like this happens, but it was nice to have that appreciation nonetheless.
I remember looking at my phone, I think it was 283 text messages. Man, that made me feel good. It was a little hey, you're gonna be all right.
I've actually had some defendants in our cell blocks that have gone out of their way to say that they've been praying for us as well.
Really?
So even, at the end of the day, they've committed crimes. They're, going through the due process, but the fact that they still have a heart shows that they're human as well.
We'd go somewhere and, somebody would see our shirt or our badge, and instantly it was, hey, I'm thinking about you guys. Random person. Had several people give me a hug. I didn't know they were going to give me a hug, but it meant the world. And
you don't even like hugs.
Yeah. So
what are you doing?
It's just one of those things that, you got to see the good side of this.
To see kids on the side of the road, it literally felt like a 4th of July parade. And, seeing the flags draped on 77 on the bridges, I mean, it was bittersweet, where it's just you were proud to be a law enforcement officer, but again, you're understanding what the cause is for.
At the end of the day, I think it's family. I mean, you're with your coworkers. I'm with my coworkers more than I am my wife, my kids.
And just like family, the Marshals have vowed to step in and look after Tommy's family, especially his daughter Abby, taking her to eat, watching her play sports, and being her protector.
That was the first time she'd ever asked me, you never told me, what was your day like that day? She wanted to know. And I was like, whew. She helped me, believe it or not,
I'm sure you helped each other too.
We'd all do anything for her, God forbid when she starts dating. Whew.
That guy's in trouble, right?
That's his job.
I'm bringing Ryan in.
A few days before April 29th, Tommy Weeks shared what would be his last post to Facebook, a picture of the sunset from his backyard. The caption reading, "Feeling happy." And in that same place, we finished this interview.
If they were here right now, that's the biggest thing is, thanking them for the time that we had with them, from all the experiences and everything we learned from each and every one of them, for having our backs, for being amazing partners for all the years that they were, and having those memories that we can look back on and we can laugh about.
So that's what we did the rest of the night.
I'm like, Tommy, you're telling me you didn't have that last night?
Shared stories, laughter, and hope in that same spot Tommy loved so much. taking in the moment and looking forward while smiling on the past. In Mooresville, Hannah Getz, Channel 9, Eyewitness News.
You know, and that's the gift, remembering our loved ones, how they lived, not how they died.
That was very special, just being a part of them for a moment in a place that meant so much to Tommy. That was really great. Thank you to Hannah and for those officers as well.
Thank you.